Welcome to Brewers Anonymous Monthly. This is our video recap of our monthly meeting for the Brewers Anonymous Homebrew Club in Orlando, Florida. This is the video covering our July 2025 meeting that took place on July 18th at Home State Brewing Company. I am Matt. I'm the current vice president of the club and part of the governing board, along with Mike, Kenny, Trevor, and JJ. So let's get started, as we always do, with our club motto: strength through unity, unity through Zymergy. And of course, we have to thank our sponsors: Ivanhoe Park Lager House, Home State Brewing Company, the American Homebrewers Association, and Tactical Brewing. We did not have a club challenge this month, but we did remind everybody that next month we do. We have our August club challenge for 2025, and that is Kvike That Shit. Any BJCP style, but it must use Kvike yeast. It is that simple and should be a lot of fun. That is, I don't know what the turnout is going to be, but Kvike has kind of become I wouldn't say the house strain of the club, but a very popular strain. Oh, there's multiple strains, but I guess I don't know what you would call that. The genus particular yeast is very popular at the club, so I expect a good turnout and some fun beers. But we'll see. We'll talk about that next month. Since last meeting, it's no secret we have had a busy month from mid-May to mid-June, so let's get started. And starting with the biggest thing that happened, of course, Hot N Humid. And in case you missed it, here are some statistics and information about Hot N Humid 2025 you may want to know. First, the club had 64 entries, and of 64 of those entries, 29 medaled, and 3 of those were best of show. That is 45% of our entries medaled, I believe. Without going back through all the years, I believe that's the highest win rate we've had. I think it's definitely the highest win rate we've had for the season. So, fantastic job. We judged 287 entries, and if you're wondering why not 300, well, we sold 300. 13 did not show or were somehow maybe broken in transit or withdrawn. So the final number that arrived, bottle sorting day, were 287 entries. That's where that number comes from. We had 36 judges help us, both on-site and virtual, and we had 9 Florida judges participate in our judging, which is a number I have never seen in any of the competitions that I've helped run. That is huge, and thank you to all those clubs for their help, and I am doing my best to return that favor. In fact, I just returned that favor to Cask this weekend, judging for their competition. That's going to be coming up at the end of the month, actually. And we had our brand new award ceremony. I don't know how much more I can say about this that doesn't speak for itself. If you haven't seen it, go to our YouTube page, for Brewers Anonymous Homebrew Club on YouTube. Find the 2025 Hot N Humid Brew Off Award Ceremony. It looks great. It sounds great. The 2 biggest takeaways from this for me was being able to see and hear everything clearly is one thing, but that's I guess the first takeaway in a sense. The second takeaway was being able to bring the energy that the club brought to this, which you can clearly also hear in this recording, is an additional thing. This is a fantastic watch. I don't know how many times I've watched this award ceremony, and it has to do with everybody's participation in the club. I will say specifically getting this online and getting the sound worked out as perfectly as it was all in JJ Ocampo's hands, and he did a fantastic job with it. But the rest of the club brought the energy and made this video one of the most unique videos we have on our website. And I leave this, or not our website, our YouTube page. But I leave this on YouTube for a couple reasons. One, so everyone can see it. And 2, just to show the other area clubs, hey, we can do more than the tools we're given with the systems we use for these award ceremonies. And here's an example. So I'm hoping it helps kind of raise the bar for home brewing in Florida, and the award ceremony is just above, all around. What's the word I'm looking for? As a whole. So we shall see. And along with that, the award ceremony photo gallery is now online as well at brewersanonymous.org. Kenny McCord took hundreds of pictures, literally. I think the number was over like 670 something, sticks in my mind. I forget how many. We went through, picked a lot of them were doubles and triples of kind of the same pose, pulled out the best. We have over 200 pictures on our website right now, again at brewersanonymous.org. And there is had to use this particular picture. I felt I should use this, I should say. Didn't have to. We could have done whatever we wanted, but I felt this was an appropriate picture because it shows our best of show winner from our club and another area Florida homebrew member from another club that joined us and celebrated. I think this picture helps encapsulate what we're trying to do this year. And then the gallery just hammers all that home. So check that out if you haven't seen it yet. The most fun about our ceremony this year was the feedback that we're getting from other clubs. These are from people in other clubs. These messages weren't sent on behalf of the club, but I just kind of narrowed down what club they're from to show that other clubs have seen what we've done and certainly appreciate it. Starting with, that was a superb award ceremony, outstanding job. I hope that others follow your model for success. That was from a member of Pub, Pinellas Urban Brewers Guild. Just going to throw this out there that clearly this is the best competition in Florida. That was from a member of Hogtown Brewers. And then my favorite overall by far is, I love y'all, but your presentation was too perfect. And that was from a member of Cask. So thank you everybody for your feedback. We're glad that the work didn't go unnoticed. And speaking of those medalists from a few slides ago from those statistics, here is the list of winners. Their medals are not listed, but you can see the results on Reggie.com. But Justin Heffron, Standard American Beer, his American Pale Ale and Special IPA, all medaled. Graciana Miranda's International Lager and Strong American Ale, medaled. Mike Thompson's Pale Malty European Lager and American Porter, medaled. Nathan Kramer's Pale Bitter European Beer, medaled. Kenny McCord's Amber Bitter European Beer and Wood Beer, medaled. Jason Breckling's German Wheat Beer, medaled. Joe Humphreys' German Wheat Beer, also medaled. Very close to a sweep. We're just one shy. Ian O'Keefe's British Brown Beer and American Pale Ale had medaled. Kevin Mirren's Blonde Ale and Spice Beer won medals. My American and Brown American Beer and Alternative Grain and Specialty Beer medaled. Christy Hunsworth's American Porter and Smoked Beer brought home a couple medals. David Fetty's Strong American Ale brought in a medal. Bill Carley's Monastic Ale brought a medal. Mark Severe, that's a name. The first time, not the first time he said this, he's been around for many years, but first entry of the year, first win of the year, all in the same competition. Mark Severe's Fruit Beer brought a medal. Eric Rodriguez, of course, he got a medal, and this time it was Alternative Grain and Specialty Beer. JJ Ocampo with a Traditional Mead and a Specialty Mead medal. John Sather with a Fruit Mead medal. And Molly Breckling with Cider and Perry or Other Fruit and Herb, Spice, and Specialty Cider and Perry, both medaled. And along with that, Justin Heffron got the first place Best of Show in beer with his American Light Lager called Nova Light. JJ Ocampo got first place Meader Cider Best of Show with his semi-sweet mead. And Molly Breckling got third Best of Show Meader Cider with a cider with other fruit. So we still have more to talk about with Hot and Humid, and that will be coming in a later video. There is going to be a special video dedicated to a report and recap of that entire event from behind the scenes to the end and what happens after. There's a bottle sorting / judging kind of behind the scenes gallery coming that needs to be put online yet, and we're going to start getting ready for 2026. We set a high bar for ourselves that we at least want to meet, if not cross, for the next year. So we will have some work coming up, but let's take a little time to just really enjoy what we did do before we start diving headfirst into that. On the competition update front, we are currently in the lead with 158 points. Hogtown Brewers is behind us with 135 points. Cask is at 113 and Pub is at 108. We do have a pretty significant, I almost said substantial. I wouldn't quite call it that large of a lead. A significant lead, but Cask always does phenomenally in the next competition, which is First Coast Cup. So they may be ahead of us after the next competition. However, we have two what are usually our second and third best after Hot and Humid yet to come. Sunshine Challenge and Commander Size. So we've got two more that we tend to do really well in if we fall behind. And then it should all come down to best Florida beer for everybody, which makes this season probably one of the more exciting ones we've had so far. But First Coast Cup will really set the tone for those last three, and we'll find out those in less than a month. As far as individual Brewer of the Year standings go, we do have quite a few people in the top portion of that. I'm not sure if there's 10 or more up there, but we do have Eric Rodriguez, JJ Ocampo, Ken McCord, and myself that are in this top list. I have no delusions that I will be in the top three, but Eric and JJ certainly have a fantastic shot at maintaining that and possibly taking over the lead as the season progresses. We had a couple of out-of-circuit competitions that members did really well in that we'd like to share with everybody, starting with Mead Stampede In the category of dry traditional meads, JJ Ocampo brought home a gold. In the semi-sweet traditional mead category, JJ Ocampo also brought home another gold. And in sweet traditional, Austin Brown brought home a gold for that category. And then the cattle battle, which I am going to describe best I can, but still not very well. There is a kind of a secret mead. You're told what the ingredients are. You're not told to what extent they're used or even what style the mead is, and you have to match that best as you can. And Austin Brown won that competition too. That description I gave, I think, does not illustrate how difficult that challenge is. So congratulations again, Austin, for that one. Out of 12 entries, matching a mead blind with only knowing a couple special ingredients, incredibly impressive. So congratulations once again on that. There's also the Honey or Your Life mead competition. And in the semi-sweet category, JJ Ocampo won a bronze. In the experimental mead category, Austin Brown won a gold. And in the stoned fruit mead category, Austin Brown got a silver. So congratulations, guys, on that. And thank you for getting that Brewers Anonymous name out there more and more and more as we grow and continue to make our positive mark on homebrewing. The next awards ceremony, as I alluded to a couple times in those last few slides, is First Coast Cup, and that is Saturday, July 26, 2025. If you're seeing this recording within the first couple days that I put these up, that'll be this Saturday. Otherwise, it may have already come and gone, but we will certainly be watching this. We have over 70 entries in this, if I'm not mistaken, and I hope to be there in person. Don't know if I will be yet or not. I'll be able to decide that in a couple of days. But it's always a good, not only presentation, but a good award ceremony as well. So if you're watching this and in the Florida vicinity or Jacksonville vicinity, it's worth checking out. And you can find out the details at their website. I can never actually remember the URL, but I always find the website by searching Cask Homebrew Club Florida. That usually leads me directly to the site, so you can get details there. I think on their Facebook page as well, and same search should probably get you to that. Commander Saz is coming. That registration has been full for a while. The delivery entries are actually, are they on their way? They're going to be on their way this week. By the time you probably are seeing this recording, that's all said and done. That's not really a detail you need to worry about in this video. We shared that at the club meeting, but the detail worth mentioning is the award ceremony Saturday, August 16th, 2025 at Bug Nutty Brewing Company. I actually really enjoy bug nutting. I'm going to try to get to that one as well, but that's way too early for me to tell if I'm going to be free or not. But that's a date worth saving, and I don't know the time, but I would imagine it's going to be in the mid-afternoon at the earliest. I'm not entirely sure, but we will share that. We've got another month of reporting and meetings coming before we really need to know that detail anyway, so we'll be able to share that probably in the next presentation. Sunshine Challenge is coming, and the registration for that is on 8/16, August 16th, and that is a Saturday. That is unusual, but I actually like that. Now I don't really have to worry about missing it, being in traffic or in a meeting at work. So Saturday, 8 a.m. 8 a.m. It's worth mentioning it starts at 8 a.m. as well. So Saturday, August 16th, 8 a.m. Don't miss that. This is one we're probably going to need to do well in after First Coast Cup. So get ready to get your 3 entries in there if you have them, or as many as you can. Well, up to 3, I should say. If it's only one, entering one helps as much as entering 3. So it's 3 limit per brewer entry. That's why I'm saying the 300 limit overall. So it's probably going to fill up fast. You'll need 3 bottles. And when is the entry delivery date deadline? That is September 7th. Everything they're doing, judging, ceremony, drop off, is all Ivanhoe Park Lager House, same place we've done ours. So no need for a driver or to kind of pre-organize the drop off. Just get them there by 9/7. And I believe that's a Sunday. That's probably, they have it listed at 1 o'clock. I bet you that's their meeting, and they may even do bottle sort after that. I don't know. I'm speculating, but yes, that is a Sunday. That's probably their meeting day. That's probably why it's 1 o'clock on a Sunday. So make sure you get it there, if not a day or two before that, or as early as you can, actually. So, all right. Their award ceremony is Sunday, October 5th, and that's at Ivanhoe Park Lager House as well. So many of us will probably be there. We'll talk more about that in the coming months. As far as the rest of the circuit deliveries, Saz will have already been taken care of by the time you're seeing this. The last one we have that needs a person to deliver for us is going to be Best Florida Beer. Deadline is October 3rd. Kevin Mernon is going to take that for us. We have not determined a location or date for a club drop-off, but it's obviously going to be before that date because Kevin has to be there on the 3rd. We will share that as we get a little closer. We may have that worked out by next month's meeting. We'll definitely have it worked out by September because we're going to have to let everybody know when that is. But just to kind of put this slide there to thank everybody that's helped us deliver our entries. And thank you to John for taking the SAWS ones that, again, are probably on their way now, if not there. And then thank you to Kevin for volunteering to take the last one of the season at to Best Florida Beer. Upcoming festivals. We did announce at Hot N Humid that we are partnering with Ivanhoe Park Lager House to help arrange a homebrew Oktoberfest-themed festival. Details are coming. In fact, the week I'm recording this, Mike will be meeting with Dustin, the coordinator on Ivanhoe Park Lager House side of this event, on what those details exactly are going to be. I'm not sure if I'll be in the meeting yet. We haven't scheduled it, again, depending on my schedule, but I can tell you at the very least, when I have the details, those will be shared. So keep an eye out for information on that. We will definitely share it in Discord. We'll very likely have something on our website about it so the other clubs can see it, and we'll probably put out an email notice to homebrewers and homebrew clubs once those details are settled. But the only detail we know right now is that it is Saturday, September 20th. We are confirmed for Space Coast Brewfest in Titusville on October 5th, 2024, 1 to 5 p.m., Sandpoint Park. We don't have a sign-up sheet yet, but we will soon. I am looking forward to this one very much so. Either as a participant or as an attendee, one way or another, I'm going to this. So we are all set. This is the first one, I guess, post-summer that we know we're doing. We'll have more come up. I'm not sure if they'll be before or after this, but this is the one we have locked in so far. And stay tuned for the sign-up sheet for that on Discord as well. Big BJCP and training update here. Very big. As of this recording, we have had our judging exam, the one that Brewers Anonymous was hosting, and that took place on Saturday, July 19th, 2025. It was administered by club member David Fetty, nationally ranked BJCP judge. We were extended. This was such a popular location for Florida judges to exam at. We were extended to 15 seats by the BJCP. Normal maximum is 12. Minimum is 6, but we were extended to 15. We had originally filled all those, and they were paid. One person did have to drop out about 10 days before the exam, but we still had all the other 14 examinees show up. And there's a lot of significance to having done this in Orlando. The first is that this is the first Orlando exam in so long that no one can seem to tell me how long it's been. I've heard 20 years. I've heard 15 years. Haven't heard more than 20. I've heard numbers between those two. I heard a couple of people say it couldn't have been more than 10 years, but they're not sure, which I can completely understand because it's hard to believe that the 2020 was 5 years ago. Feels like a year or two. So 10 years can fly by faster and faster every year, apparently. Who knows? That's the thing. No one knows. It's been so long that nobody knows, but now we've had one and we're going to have more. And I want to discuss why we started this. We had some dissatisfaction over a category that was judged at Hurricane Bluff in 2024. That set in motion the Brewers Anonymous member judges to develop some kind of training program to get more judges, not just for our club, but for the circuit in general. And the overwhelming majority of requests of how this should be done was that could it be done virtually? And that's a task we took on. And we did, and we created learn.brewersanonymous.org. And we've had a lot of people reach out since the launch of this saying how much it's helped them. And some people have said it's helped them. It's the sole thing that's got them through the entrance exam. And even up until the day of the judging exam, I met an individual that went through the course, and I asked flat out, did it help? And they said yes. So that was a pretty significant addition to our club. It's the most visited part of our website, and it seems to be helping, and it's still evolving. It's what's out there now, although it's mostly evergreen and apparently does help. There's some things that can be better and things that need to be added, and that will continue to grow. Along with that, we set a goal to have an exam in conjunction with Hot N Humid in 2025. And the one thing we were missing was a national judge until David Fetty stepped up and volunteered. And then it became a reality. And we originally wanted to do it as part of Hot and Humid weekend, but we didn't quite know if we could do it. So we scheduled it around Dave and my schedule, letting the holiday pass through that as well. And we did find out, I'll say this, without going into a full report of everything, we found out that's probably going to be difficult and something we may not want to do, because the entire exam process, even though it's a 90-minute exam, for the coordinators, setting up, getting everybody in, checked in, settled, then having the exam, then cleaning up, it's really more of a 4-hour process. That's a half day, obviously, a half work day. And then if you add the ceremony on top of that, which I think anyone that was there from noon knows that was a 6 to 7 hour day, we might just want to have it in conjunction with Brewers Anonymous. Have it a thing where people say, hey, Brewers Anonymous, or not Brewers Anonymous, Hot and Humid. Well, both, but with Hot and Humid, one of those things where people say, oh, Hot and Humid is coming in 2 months. There's probably going to be an exam. Maybe I'll get ready for this. So that's what we're kind of going for now. It's very likely not ever going to be the same weekend, other than never say never, but it's going to be when Hot and Humid is coming, so is a judging exam. That's kind of our goal. And this all took 16 months to achieve, which is probably pretty, if I really broke down all the work we did, probably pretty incredibly short amount of time. But at the time, I was so passionate about the project, I didn't notice. And with all this, of course, I think you got the gist from what I just said before that. This will not be our last exam, so go start studying now. All right, that is all I wanted to say, other than just share a couple pictures. You see the full room in the top left corner. You see the proctors in the bottom right corner. And then there's the beers. I think there are beers 3 and 4 out of 6. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. And there's the crew in the middle, myself, David Fetty, and my wife, Christy. And that was just enough people to get the beers out on time and not trip over each other, because we gave 98% of that room to the testes and the proctors, and we took as small a space as we could to spread everybody out and make them as comfortable and quiet in the room as quiet as possible. And it worked out fantastic. If you're wondering where this location is, this is a clubhouse in the housing development that David lives in, and it's one of the many rooms that they had. And this I don't think I've seen a more perfect size room for the amount of people we had. So as long as David continues to help us, we'll probably try to keep doing it there or somewhere like that. So thank you, everybody, thank you, David, of course. Thank you, Christy, for helping out. Thank you to our proctors, bottom left-hand corner from the top, the gentleman looking at the camera. It's Jim Silverstein. He came from Chicago. He just happened to be here it's all lined up in time with a visit he had already to Orlando. So he was one of our proctors. Ed Meesom in the middle. He's very involved in Central Florida homebrewers, so we've had their assistance in this, in a sense. And Lucas Clues, if you've not met him before, you've seen his name literally hundreds of times in the award ceremonies. He's always winning. He's from Cask. He drove down and helped us too. So thank you for the area clubs as well, helping us get this done. All right, we're just about at the end here, but let's look at the Austin P. Harris Brewer of the Year Awards update. No surprise, Eric Rodriguez still has a humongous lead at 154 points. JJ Ocampo, 96, and probably the biggest surprise is somehow I'm back at third at 58, but I'm going to kiss that position goodbye and just enjoy it while I see it here. So, some important things coming up on the schedule. All right, Saw's drop-offs already happened. We do have our Crispy Brew Summer Swap Sunday, July 27th at 1 o'clock at Ivanhoe Park Lager House. The First Coast Cup Award Ceremony are Saturday 26th. Time TBD. I believe it's usually at 7 o'clock, but we'll check that and put it on Discord. You can watch the stream online or go to Legacy Aleworks and go to the ceremony live. And our August meetup and KTS competition, that's the Kavite competition, will be Friday, August 15th, and that one will be at Ivanhoe Park Lager House. And that is it. And one more time, I'll just remind everybody that the next meeting is Friday, August 15th at Ivanhoe Park Lager House. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you at that next meeting.